All right, what's happening, folks? Happy Thursday to you. Man, it's been a minute since I had these two faces on a live stream with me at the same time. And excited to be here, guys. Excited to kind of, pull the curtain back behind some of the things that we've been doing at Top Contractor School, some of the things that we're going to be doing at Top Contractor School, and really, you know, make this the first step of, many different times that we're going to do something like this to try to just remind people out there that are in the construction industry what is available to them. The community that we have built at Top Contractor School has been absolutely incredible for all of our businesses. And so, we wanted to kind of share what's happening at Top Contractor School, what the future of that looks like, all the progress that we've made over the last probably 6 months to a year, just a significant amount of progress. We always say inside the group that, when you're looking forward, it never feels like you're going fast enough. But when you look back, man, it's amazing the progress that you could make. And we wanted to share a little bit of that progress with you here today. So first and foremost, welcome to my co-hosts here, Keith Calloway Jr., chairman of the board of Top Contractor School, and also one of my best friends. And who's this other guy on the screen, Keith?
Man, well, that's one of our good friends. He's been a silent face because he's I don't barely recognize him clean shaven like that, right? Like he's always had this facial hair, but that
look at him trying to blend into society now.
He's Kevin Gray from the Kentucky internet area.
Right, we're just hoping he can hold on here until the end of this live stream with the Kentucky.
Look, this signal better be strong because I think we're about to get into it. So
yes, sir. So it is our pleasure, in all seriousness, enough joking around, to introduce Kevin as the executive director of Top Contractor School. And I want to say this because I think it's absolutely noteworthy to say that, Kevin was member number 1 of Top Contractor School. And, man, the journey that we've all been on together, the three of us and plenty of others inside of TCS, but the journey that the three of us have been on together, building businesses, pretty much, arguably they're unrecognizable from what they were 4 or 5 years ago. Right. And so the journey that we've been on together, Kevin being a major part of that, getting him into this community as the executive director, man, it is an absolute pleasure. I can't think of anybody on the planet that would fit the role of executive director for Top Contractor School better than you, man. And just grateful for the opportunity to have you part of the family and in this seat in position to be able to take this organization along with everybody else in it to the next level.
Well, I mean, geez, the honor is all mine, and just hearing you say that out loud for like the first time, publicly and doing this is like it. I mean, this is a dream come true, man, because it all started on a napkin, 5, 6, probably longer, way longer than that before that in your head, in your mind, brother. But just to hear that, because I never knew, and I think we as a group and as a Top Contractor School community have just kind of always fought through kind of battle, like how do we get to the next level? How do we go further? How do we get more people involved? And ultimately, how do we change more lives? And like we all have always had our own respective businesses that have kind of had to be, they were our motherships. They were taking care of, they were feeding our families. They were feeding our employees' families. So like those kind of always took precedence as good and as solid and as true as Top Contractor School has become. To find, I never, like you've been telling me for 6 years, dude. You're like, the seat's right next to me. The seat's here. Come help. Come be a part of this. And like I never knew how to get out of my business or get, find enough time. I think we all face that to some extent, find the time to really put the energy, passion, and for me, it's love, like into this organization, into this mission, into this purpose-filled vision that we on this screen, and a lot of us, a lot of the current membership, even the vision that we have for this thing going forward. So, dude, the pleasure and the honor is all mine. I'm absolutely just grateful and humble for this opportunity, and I can't wait to see where we go with this thing. So, thank you, and thank both of you on a personal level for sticking beside me and believing in me. That's what TCS is all about. It's about family. It's about brotherhood, sisterhood, fraternity, whatever you want to call it. Like on its deepest level, it is about believing in each other, raising the standard for each other, picking each other up when we're down. And man, if it weren't for all of those things culturally and personally inside of both of you guys and the membership, by the way, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. So I'm just grateful, man. Thank you.
Amen, dude. Amen. And I think that the one thing that I could have never imagined with TCS in, the vision that I had in the very beginning was to just bring the things that I knew that I didn't see consistently in the construction industry, like bring that knowledge, that background. I was fortunate to work in corporate America before I got into this industry. And so, was blessed to be around a lot of structure, a lot of process, a lot of, just how to do things in a normal way. And that sounds crazy to say, but in the construction industry, man, that's not really the way that it always goes, right? It's like, there's amazing tradesmen and tradeswomen out there that know how to do what it is that they know how to do. But the other piece of it that's missing, in my opinion, is it's leadership, it's process, it's community, right? Having those people that you can rely on when times get tough. And so over these, 4+ years that we've had Top Contractor School, the offer has evolved, right? It started with an elite group, which the elite group kind of demanded, hey, we want to take the leaders and the owners into a different group, and we want to meet together, and we want to do different things, right? And so we created the inner circle, and then the inner circle retreats started happening, and we've gone from all of that education piece on a weekly basis to now getting together 4 times a year between meetups and retreats, right? We've got unbelievable things that have happened in this membership over the last 4 years. Keith, I'll throw it to you to talk about the journey from, your seat, being first a member and then, kind of securing your permanent seat in this organization, over the years by really running the play, right? By implementing the things that we all know work, right? And doing so and building your own business into what it is today. And then, permanently securing yourself a seat in the leadership of Top Contractor School. What was it like watching the organization grow over the last 4 years from where you started to where you are now?
I think that's a really unfair question, because when I got here, I didn't have the awareness to watch the people around me and understand what was happening. Right? Like, we all walk in these doors generally looking for advice and help because we're drowning. We're drowning in our problems. We're drowning in standard operating procedures. We're drowning in, what is a balance sheet and what are taxes? What does a CPA do for me versus a bookkeeper? I mean, these are things like we're tradesmen. When we walk in the door, generally speaking, we have calluses on our hands, and anything to do with the computer or the paperwork, it's mind numbing. Like it hurts because it's so hard to figure out. So going from the guy that was running the business from the seat of a paver to somewhat of an executive, because I still am in the field on a regular basis, has been it's been a really large and tough transition. But I can tell you that knowing that I have 20 other people that I have their cell phone numbers and that I can ask them, hey, what is it that you guys did when this happened, has really transformed the way that I've been able to be a business owner, an owner operator, and gets me understanding what it is that next thing is, right? Because I think one of the things that we do really well as contractors and as people who are entrepreneurs is we figure out how to accomplish or go after a goal and get there. But what in the world happens when we get it, right? Brian, we wanted to start this paving company, and I wanted to get back all of the things that my family had And then at the end, when we get there, I'm like, okay, now what? Right? Like, what do we do now that we have gone from an operator to an owner? Brian, help me, because I don't know how to operate as an owner now, because I've done operations for so long that I don't have any clue what business development looks like. I have no idea how to get to that next level. And that's where having a group of people, a community to come in, that's what has changed my life. And to go from somebody in it to out of it, we can talk about that in a minute. But what was your perspective when you watch person after person after person come in and say, okay, I accomplished that, what's next?
Yeah, I would say transparently, it's a little intimidating to be, the leader, the mentor of a group of, really high flying entrepreneurs that are looking to get things to the next level. And frankly, some of them execute at such a fast pace that, what's next comes hell of a lot faster than what you think it would. Right. And so, over those 4 or 5 years, I credit a lot of the success of the pavement group to, being in this position to lead this organization, right? Because, you feel the pressure, and you guys feel it now too, of like having to keep up, right? Having to stay ahead, having to level up, having to read and digest and, learn about everything that's ahead of these people and their companies, so that we can be the best mentors that we can be. And I think that, one of the things that I want to point out here, because I think it's one of the many things that makes Top Contractor School unique, but it is important for us to note that every single person that is part of Top Contractor School, every person that's giving advice is actually out there doing it. And that is, as the world changes faster and faster, I believe that is an important thing for people to consider. We're not here giving you advice that we experienced a decade ago, or that we read in a book, or that we think is the right information. We are actually building companies as we speak right now. We've broken the processes that we've implemented. We've had to re-engineer them. Before we jumped on here, we were actually talking about the fact that between Keith's company and my company, there are things breaking every day because of the unbelievable success and progress that we've been able to make. And so, for me, how it's felt is it went from, I kind of had an idea of what people needed. I had an idea of what would make people successful. The pavement group is an unbelievable testing ground for that, right? So like, we take those things, whether it's your company, Keith, or mine, or somebody else's in the group, and we're implementing these things in real time and testing them and seeing what happens. And so over those years, it's also interesting how it's boiled down to what we now refer to as Top Contractor System. It's like, here are the 12 things that people have done, have executed on and implemented successfully, that have taken their businesses from literally 250,000 to 8 million, 3 million to 20 million, who knows what, to 50 million, right? It goes on and on and on. And I'm not throwing those numbers out there to flex on anybody. It's just to prove the point that it actually works, right? That the things that we teach, the community that we've built, the support system that you have, and the friendships, and really the family that you create by being part of this, it's undeniable that it works, right? And so what we've been challenged with over the years is really evolving that, right? It's taking it from where it was to where it is. And one of the things that I think we've done really, really well over the years, individually and now as an organization, is teaching marketing, right? It's teaching people how to get their name out there, how to become the recognizable brand in their market, and to get out there and put the content out necessary for people to get to know you on a different level, to get to actually know the person and the people behind the company. And so we launched earlier this year, Top Contractor Media. And so, Keith, why don't you touch on that a little bit? And Kevin, I want you to touch on, how media played a role in your exponential growth in your company as well. But Keith, it's been a long process to get to this point of being able to produce content for companies across the country. But that's one of the many things that has evolved in Top Contractor School in the last 12 months.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that I think I heard it first from Brian, like you could be the greatest guy at whatever you do, but if nobody knows it, what does it matter? Right? Like you could be the greatest person, you could be the greatest paver, you could be the greatest anything, and if nobody knows, it's literally useless and pointless to possess that knowledge, information, or skill. And for years, he's been saying every single contractor needs to be a media personality first. You need to have something out there where people can get to know you without you having to be there on a regular basis. And the idea was, and that not a lot of people get, is that if you can duplicate yourself, because that's actually what you're doing by doing content. If you can duplicate yourself, you can be in multiple places at the same time. And we spent a bunch of money trying to do it. Brian and the Pavement Group have spent a bunch of money and try to do it. And we finally figured out, like, and Kevin has spent, a bunch of money trying to do it. And, we've all done little pieces good and we've done other pieces better. And long story short, what we figured out is that we have to come alongside contractors and we have to say, who are you? What are you all about? What would you say your greatest skills are? And then spend some time in front of a camera just talking, because the greatest piece of who you are is who you are. Right? Wow. It sounds profound. It sounds super simple, but if people don't know you and they don't trust you and they don't like you, then they're not going to use you for whatever it is that you're building. And in order to get to the next level, people need to know you, like you, and trust you. Those are the three basic components. And the way you do that is not giving the greatest work or giving exemplary proposals, or it's getting out there and telling people who you are on a consistent and frequent basis. Frequency and consistency matter. And contractors, we are notorious for being really consistent and frequent as long as we don't have work. Once we have work, we are the most inconsistent, terrible group of people because we don't call back. We never answer our phone. We're too busy. We're up at 4 and we're home in bed at 9. And I got, soccer practice and all these other things. So what we're trying to do is say, let us help you. Let's come alongside you. We have a structure to it. We have prompts. We have people that'll come out to you, shoot your content, edit it, color correct it, do all these things that I didn't understand the words when I heard them the first time. And I still don't understand them all the way. And then miraculously, they show up on your social feeds. And the traction that you get when you start putting frequent and consistent posts up is people start to notice you. The kind of people you want to attract in your life show up. So whether it's customers, consumers, or employees, the two guys that are on this stream with me, which are some of my best friends, are my friends because of the things that they put on the internet. Right. So their content attracted me to them. I started watching them. I figured out who they were before we actually had a conversation. And now I've been to their houses. I've met their families. We vacationed together. Like, these are the beautiful things that have happened. And we live thousands of miles apart. Right. So the goal is with Top Contractor Media is to take this really daunting task of editing, shooting, figuring out the content calendar and making it simple. Hey, I need an hour of your time these 3 days. This is what we're going to shoot today. This is what we're going to shoot tomorrow. This is what I need. And then, by the way, I just need 6 or 7 hours each of those other days, just kind of shooting background stuff so that we can, when we do this content, it's your people, it's your place of business, it's your branding. Everything looks like you have this massive media team, and it's all done from somebody who's done it and invested thousands of dollars in an education that you don't have to. That's thousands. Really the lion's share of it.
I wish it was thousands.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've blown some really, like, we're probably approaching a 2 comma investment in this by now.
Yeah. Between all of us, there's no that it's 2 commas.
That's a 2 comma investment.
Yeah.
It's 2 commas and probably a double-digit number in front of it.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, and I think that it's exceptionally important to note that, like, we don't just preach this stuff. We put our money where our mouths are all the time with this. For anybody that wants to come and visit in Pittsburgh, you'll see the studio that we're probably 2 days away from showing you guys in public, but that alone is a 6-figure investment into, producing better content, higher level content, so that, people can get a better look at who we are as a business. And so, Kev, what do you think?
Well, the way you described it, and it's so true because when we try and do it independently as our as contractors, try to do it on our own, try to do it in our own market. We find our own maybe media company, or it usually just starts with like a video guy that says he's in media and social media marketing. That's how mine started. Like I basically funded my guy's learning curve, if you will. I got to be pretty darn good at it, but there's not a lot of options out there in a lot of markets, and to make it as simplified and as thorough as we're talking about doing, not as we're talking about doing, as we have made it, it reminded me. Have you guys seen the little parable or whatever it is on social media? It's like this husband that's just delusional and thinks he's got his wife's with him, and he thinks he's got these. I think it's a magic. He's got these magic dishes. I might be getting this wrong, but like he's like, I eat the food at the coffee table while I'm watching TV, and I leave all the stuff there. No, maybe it's a magic table. I don't know,
Yeah.
but whatever. He's like, he just leaves his mess there, and he's like, I come back the next day, and it's all washed and cleaned and put up in the cupboards and like done for me, and like dumbass, it's his wife that's cleaning up after washing the dishes and putting in the dishwasher and putting it back in the cupboards or whatever. But like he thinks it's like, oh my God, it kind of reminded me of that, like with the level of service that we can bring, and the value with this top contractor media is like, let us do all, because if you're doing it by yourself with just a local guy or even a small team, like dude, it's a full-time job in itself trying to figure all that out and get enough content and good media and post it and manage it and comment on it. Like that can become a full-time job. We got a business to run. So like that's the amazing part of it for me. And we talked about it on the call yesterday. We talked about community outreach and getting involved in community. And we ended up having a discussion about hiring, which was interesting because it went all the way from like, how's this community outreach and things we're doing. And when we did the breakout sessions, our group got into the discussion. We started talking, you can't find good help either, by the way. And it's like, it all starts, especially nowadays, with how well, your brand is perceived out in the community. And it's not, you're not showcasing your work. You're not, putting up the highlight reels of your pavers and your dump trucks or your crews and that's all part of it. Yes, there's some of that involved, but it's really that storytelling brand of who we are, what we believe in, what we value, what's our mission, and on even more than just a marketing level that it does deliver on, it's also attracting top talent to your team. When you're not doing stuff like that, nobody in the world knows that a job at your company even exists, let alone a really cool one at a really, really cool environment. Like everybody just assumes that you have, you're a contractor, you have construction jobs, and you're putting yourself in a box of the talent pool that's available out there that can come be a part of your team by not, putting yourself out there in that fashion. So, it does so much more than just drive business, revenue or dollars to your business. It tells people in your community who you are, what you stand for, what you believe in, and it's attracting people to you all the time. Like that Keith said, that's how we met. That's how we all met. That's how a lot of these relationships within our organization have come together. And Brian, like your company is a testament to. I mean, 5 years ago, we were trying to figure out how to do a BJ's parking lot in Amish country, Pennsylvania, and we were both over our heads. You know what I mean? And look at us 5 years later only, and the talent, the volume that you've been able to produce, and I've been to Pittsburgh now 2 or 3 times, and inside your walls, and it's like the people that are around you, man, like they are not just talented top level kind of people, but they are good people, and they match your culture, and they match your brand, and they match your values. And like that's what we're talking about, like exposing who you are, who we are, who your companies are to your community, man. Like it's incredible. People want to come work for the Pavement Group. because they know who you are. They know who your people are. They know what one team means. They know what it stands for, and they don't have to ask.
Yeah, that is ultimately the goal, man. And I think, I think it's really important for people to understand too, media is certainly an important aspect of it, but it is the whole rundown of everything, everything that we have learned, broken, focused on, figured out, what really works. And I just want to read through the list, because if any of these kind of ring a bell to the people out there that are in the construction industry that are an issue for them, we've built the playbook that enables people to be able to do this pretty easily and adapt it quickly and really get to the point, which is our purpose, is to give contractors their lives back, right? To be able to give them, not be working, essentially owning a job, but owning a company, right? Building a real organization. And we do that through teaching leadership, goal setting, culture, sales, marketing, technology, community, recruiting, communication skills, communication in general, reporting, processes, finance, all of those things. And, these are the things that really contractors struggle with the most, right? It's like the work part, the trades part is the easy part. It's the, going and doing the work is really, it becomes the easiest part. Not to say that it's easy work, because it's not, but it's all the other things that go into that really matter. And so how do we teach that? I just want to end on this. It's like every week at Wednesday at 3 p.m., we have a call with the Inner Circle members. Every Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, we have a call with the elite members. In addition to that, we have meetups. So November, we have a meetup here in Pittsburgh. January, we have an event that's happening in Naples, Florida at the Naples Grand. We have Ed Milet coming as a speaker. We've had John Maxwell in the past. The value that comes from these types of community gatherings that we have is unbelievable, man. It changes people's lives. People are at my house for Thanksgiving and New Year's from this group. Like it's a normal thing. We just had a whole group that joined my family vacation right down in Florida, and we had a ball, man. And I say that because, and I'm sure it's like this, Brett just said in the comments here, not just contractors, it's the same for all businesses. And I think that's true for a lot of the things we're talking about here. Most business owners, most entrepreneurs, they feel alone to some degree, right? And this group is the ultimate feeling of belonging. It is something that you can't understand until you experience it. That's not a sales pitch. It's just a fact, right? If you show up to one of these events, you're going to understand exactly what I'm talking about. There's a group of people that genuinely love each other and care for each other and, are invested in each other's businesses. When these guys text me with their wins in their lives, their wins in their businesses, it's equally or more exciting than it is for my own business, right? Because watching other people win has a different feeling to it. And, that's what this is all about. And so there's a lot more to come from the three of us. We'll be jumping on here from time to time, giving you guys updates. But if any of this, sounds interesting to you, by all means, connect with Kevin. He's our executive director. Have a conversation with him. Keith and I are, of course, available to you guys as well. But, we'd love to talk to you and see if what we have going on here is a great fit. Our mission is to really transform this industry and to bring as many people with us as we possibly can that have like values, like principles, right? They're on the same mission. And so that's why we're doing this. We're trying to get the word out there that something does exist that can help you, that can, again, take you from feeling like, you're owning a job to eventually owning a company and having some freedom. Keith and I were talking about it before we jumped on here, that the amount of revenue that we're doing now is, in some cases 15, 20 times what we were doing, 4 or 5 years ago. And it feels easier than it did then. And that honestly is what we want for as many people as we can help to do that. Right. And so that's the mission. That's why we're here. Man, I love both of you guys. And it has been one hell of a ride, man, to get from where we were to where we are. Plenty of times people thought I was crazy. You guys were crazy. As they say, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. Right. And, at the end of it, we've created a success that, is undeniable from a result standpoint. And, I'd love to be able to share that with as many people out there that are looking for the same thing as we were looking for, which is community, freedom, more balance, more fulfillment, a community of people that are going to support you no matter what happens to you. And we are blessed to be able to say that we have all of those things at Top Contractor School because of the membership and the people that we have as a part of it. So, Keith, final words?
Yeah, I think to sum up what I believe Top Contractor School is, it's the answer to loneliness. Like, it's the anti-traditional, like, if you win, I lose, right? The fact that when things happen, you hear the circle cheer louder for you than you're cheering for yourself. Talks a lot about the character of the people in it. And I will tell you, today I get answers faster from not just people in Top Contractor School, but because of the relationships that I've developed inside of here, I now have local connections that I reached out to, that I was bold enough to go to a competitor and say, hey, what do I do when this happens? And you know what? Now I have advocates, and we have friends and resources in not just across the country, but I have them in my own network and in my own market, right? Because this isn't a zero-sum game. And I think that old school mentality needs to go away. What was the figure at the retreats? Like $7 trillion is the construction industry by 2030.
It's bizarre. Yeah,
it's crazy. The GDP of the world right now is 10.
It's gonna double in size in 7 years.
Yeah. So when you think about that, there's so much growth and so much opportunity, if you don't build the frame for it now, it's going to pass you by. And as you're feeling overwhelmed, you got to get into some circles where people have done what you're about to do, because you could spend 5 years trying to figure out what we did with the media side, because it's been a 5-year process of trying to figure this out. And now we're like, we're just going to put everything together, because we don't need 5 people doing this. We need one guy doing that, one guy doing this, right? And then we can give it to other people, because now we've got the solution. It's the same thing. If you're feeling lost, alone, lonely, you don't feel heard, and you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you're looking at 3 dudes who can help you get connected with people that solve that problem for you, right? Because you need people around you to make you feel like you're not chronically unique. And as a business owner, we get in that rut where we're like, nobody could understand the pressure that I'm in. And there's a reason that we all look crusty. It's because we're being made into diamonds right now. Right? The pressure is a privilege, and we're getting to be made something. So I appreciate it. I love you guys, and I can't wait to see how many other people and the lives that we change because of it. One little stat, I pulled up my initial, what my goals were from 2019. We had 13 people working. 13. I have 50 working for me now. 50, 4 times the number of people. And the revenue, it would be a joke if I even told you the numbers, right? The reality is, you don't have to stay in what you thought was only possible, because there's a world of possibility. You just need to get around people that tell you that more is possible. And these guys right here were those people for me. So I'm waiting for it. I want all you guys to get on board.
Kev, I kind of feel bad for you, making you go after that, but go for it.
I don't have anything to add to that, because that is it.
In the words of Charlie Munger, nothing meaningful to add.
Yeah, dude, that summed it up. And what I will add to that is that you are looking at a live, in the flesh testament of someone who has done it with the group and someone who has done it without the group not so long ago. And you see where that got me. So we go much further together than we do alone. I can promise you that. And everything that Keith Jr. just said, man, that's if that doesn't sum it up, I don't know what does. So
amen.
There is strength. There is strength in this group, and it's big time strength. It's real world, and it's real. It's not just real world. It is real. It is real human to human connection kind of strength. And it doesn't get any better than that. So,
amen. Well, guys, again, we'll be back here on a regular basis here, the three of us just chopping it up, talking about what's going on in our businesses, what's happening inside of TCS. We'll bring you some of the wins from the people, how they're evolving their businesses. Maybe we get a couple people on here with us to talk about it as well. But appreciate you, Kevin. Man, welcome. Welcome to the seat, dog. Welcome to the seat. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you all again very soon. Adios.